there's no need to move quickly out of this space. Let your body arrive in its own timing. And before opening your eyes fully, just notice what is here now, not what has happened, not what it's meant. Just opening, receiving, or simply not interfering. Let that be enough. Now gently widen your awareness. Sense your whole body sitting here, your breath moving, the space around you. And from this place, you are not here to have a specific experience. You are here to receive whatever arises without condition. Feel your body again, the weight of you, the contact points on the chair, your breath moving. Let yourself land. Now gently notice what sensations are present in your body. They may be subtle, they may be strong, or they may be a sense of stillness or space. All of it is valid. Let your attention rest with whatever you notice. No need to describe it, no need to understand it, just sensing. When the mind begins to organize the experience, gently come back to the body, sensation first. Now sense this. You don't need to hold on to this experience, and you don't need to recreate it. You have choice in how you relate to what you just occurred. Let your system know, I do not have to grasp this for it to matter. What would it feel like to allow this experience to settle naturally? Now allow simple internal action to arise, not from thinking, but from sensing. It might be allowing it to integrate, letting it move, softening, staying present, or simply doing nothing. Let that be enough. Now gently expand your awareness again. Sense your whole body, the room, the space around you. Notice if there is any impulse to explain the experience, compare it, judge it, or decide if it was good or effective. Just notice that impulse. It is there. And let it pass. This is important. The value of this experience is not in what you can describe. It is what your system has already registered. Integration does not require understanding. Let your body complete anything that is still moving. A breath, a shift, a swallow, a softening. Trust the intelligence of your system. Now gently bring your awareness back to the room. Notice light, sound, temperature. Slowly begin to reorient. If your eyes have been closed, you can gently blink them open or keep a soft gaze. But before we fully transition, just take one more breath. Inhale, exhale like you're blowing out a candle, and silently acknowledge, I can return to this at any time. And when you're ready, you may begin to move your body, stretch, or remain still a little longer. There is no rush. If anybody wants to share any of their experience, we can do it for a little bit now. I just want to thank you for letting me do this. It was an honor to be here. I'm sorry I dropped the chime at the end. I hope it didn't startle anybody. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Liz. That was a beautiful session. Hope everybody immersed in the sound journey. And that was really vibrating. That was awesome. So let's all come together to felicitate Liz. I call upon Satya and Kobi to felicitate Liz for this wonderful experience. Thank you, Liz. That was awesome journey. Liz is founder of Shakti Creative Wellness Center, and through her non-profit Casuality, she supports creative initiatives that serve creators and community of well-being. Thank you. Let's hold on to a minute. We have a raffle pickup. So let's do the raffle pickup. Yeah, please pick one.
Samika? Is Samika here? Is Samika here?
Samika, calling upon Samika, the raffle winner. Samika, you? Thank you, Liz. Congratulations. We have small housekeeping things here. We have one more raffle pickup. It's okay. Congratulations, Alvina. So small housekeeping things here. We have restrooms available in backside of the stage here, and we have water stations spread over everywhere, so people can refill your water in your bottles, or you have water glasses also available. And please, this is an announcement to the cars. I think there are more than 10 cars which have been parked in front of the center. Please, can you all check your cars and park according to the parking station available, because we have a food truck coming up. They need the space.
Public meditation.
So can you all please, whoever's car is being parked inappropriately, please park them in the allocated parking station.
Ladies and experiences. Toastmasters Club.
Toastmasters International, a non-profit organization that has helped millions around the globe build confidence with public speaking. Since 1924, our Learn by Doing program will give you improved communication, public speaking, and leadership skills, all while building confidence for your next group presentation, whether it's in person or online.
Hi, my name is Tammy, and I'm a Toastmaster. Mindful Masters Toastmasters Club is the place to be. We do exactly that. We improve our communication and leadership skills. And the added bonus is that Mindful Masters is focused on mindfulness. There is positivity, gratefulness at every Mindful Masters Toastmasters meeting.
Restrooms are behind the stage, outside this premises. We have water stations spread through. The raffle sponsors are by wealthy vendor booths. Wellbeing LLC. The rapid sponsors are from Wellbeing LLC. Request everybody to please be seated. We have kids activities coming up. We have kids culture. Can we have everybody seated, please? We have weather booths set up adjacent to this hall. So interested people can check those weather booths. People who park in front of the event center, please move your cars to the respective parking spots. We have a food truck coming up, so we need the space for the food truck to be parked there. There's an announcement for Audi car SCF 4174. Your car windows are open, there is a rain happening there. Could you please check your car? It's SCF 4174 Audi. In few minutes we will be resuming with the kids' cultural activities. Can we have everybody seated, please? Can we have everybody seated in the chairs? Other than the participants, the kids, can we have everybody seated in your designated seats, please? We have a fun activity, fun cultural from kids. Let's all enjoy these performances. I request everybody to take your seats. Please do not stand up on the sides here. I request everybody to sit in the seating area. I request everybody to take your seats. We have vendor booths which are being set up towards the left side of the event hall here. We have our restrooms behind the stage, outside the space. We have water stations spread all over. You can refill your waters or you can drink with the water glasses provided. I request everybody to take your Jansi here? Can you raise your hand, Jansi? Okay, so can we take some meditation feedback from everybody sitting here? I mean, if anybody wants to talk about the experience, how did the first session go? Okay, sure. Is anyone new today for this meditation? First time in this audience? Okay. Do you want to share your experience? You can tell your name.
Yeah, my name is Siva.
Okay, this is the first time. So please enjoy the event. Thank you so much. So, can anyone share your feedback? Any first timers who wants to share your experience or you wants to know about this? Oh, there's a little girl right there. She wants to talk about her experience. You can share. Tell your name and share your experience.
Charlie, and last time I was a Pacific, and it was fun. Like this, and so we had like this. Yeah. So we had a dance last time, and I really enjoyed that. And then after that, we had a basketball tournament, and then I really enjoyed playing on that. And then there was this dolls I love to look at. And it was just really like mindful while like very majestic program up here, and like the jump circle, I really loved those. And last year it was just like really fun. I was like really excited to like collect this again. This one.
Okay, in brief, she said she loved the experience. It was wonderful experience. And which segment is your favorite segment? The drum circle?
No, like the magic one. The magic
one. Okay. All right, that was great. Thank you for sharing your experience. All right, we have kids' performance now. They're all really dressed up wonderfully, all excited. Let's see how they perform. Let's all cheer for them. Can you have everybody seated in the space, All right, on to the performance.
Thank you.
That was energetic performance. Don't you agree with me? These little kids. The highlight was these two boys who were just dancing to the beats with the girls. I ask everybody to give one more energetic applause to them. Or just more gifts these little kiddos are going to get. I call upon Swarupa and Misty to give away those gifts to the Mahi, to give the gifts to the kids. Alright, the names of these kids are Charlie, say hi Charlie, Vaibhav, Chetan, Medha, Jashita, Pujita, Himavat, Mayuki, Yashika, Varnikau. Thank you, kiddos. Thank you. You all can dismiss. The next session goes to the experience sharing session here. The experience sharing session is with Misty. I call upon Misty to share her experience about the meditation magic. Let's all welcome Misty.
Thank you very much. I count it an honor and a pleasure to be with each and every one of you on today. And you know, when I think about meditation, I feel I've joined Mindful Toastmasters group and learned about Divya through an organization called WOBI. And then I became more aware of meditation, and I feel so accepted and also just grounded in my life. Even though we may go through different things in our lives, I was married for about 16 years, and unfortunately I'm separated. But when I'm meditating, I feel so grounded, I feel so empowered, I feel so not alone. And so I am so thankful for meditation being a part of my life. I recently had a kind of major surgery, and I'm not ashamed to say I had a hysterectomy on March 9th. And I'm so glad that meditation was a part of my healing and continues to be a part of my healing physically, as well as even for me personally. I feel mentally and psychologically that meditation is at the center of it all for me, and I am just so glad that it is, I feel, a tool that is for me to use. And I love how Meditation Magic has events all the time that I try to keep abreast of. I used to not like waking up at 5 in the morning. I still have a hard time sometimes, but I feel so much more like when you wake up and you have a purpose or something to do, it is so encouraging. And so I love how Meditation Magic has the transformation weeks and just the art events, just something, and the in-person events on Sunday. I haven't gotten to make those as much as I would like, but all the events that are available, I just want to encourage you as well too as a person. And I love the kids meditation. I'm trying to get my grandkids involved in that. We haven't been able to make it happen just yet. But all the events that are offered, I think are...
Listen, I take a pause, listen, and then I react, rather than just reacting on the flight. I mean, that is something which was a key takeaway. It was beautiful. And the moment you start enjoying that stillness in your mind, I couldn't express my thoughts. You get into a different world altogether. I tried a few different types of meditation, but this one, where you follow your breath work, really, really means a lot. And it takes a big toll on your health, mental and physical well-being as well. I used to play a lot, I still play a lot, but after meditation my stamina has tremendously increased. I used to play squash, I still play squash. Earlier I used to play for like 45 minutes, nowadays I play for like 60, 90 minutes at a stretch. This is all because of breath work and meditation. So, thank you for that. And it's been a wonderful crew. Mandira and Kalpana. I've been many good groups here. Please do a lot of breath work. Try to do a lot of stretching. That's really because without stretching, I don't do a lot of stretching earlier. Nowadays I do a lot of stretching. I do a physical workout, but stretching is something which I started to pick up after this meditation. So breath work, meditation, and stretching is going to be very, very crucial. And stillness in mind is going to give you a lot of things. Trust me. I'm a living example. Trust me. So just keep this in mind. Sleeping is an unconscious meditation. Meditation is a conscious sleeping. If you keep this in mind, it will take you to heights. But enjoy your meditation, enjoy your breath work, and you'll do wonders. Trust me, you'll do wonders. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Venkat. I think those are the beautiful things you explained. I think everybody should inculcate in our day-to-day life. Anyone else want to talk about your experiences? Alright, there's a video. Please all enjoy the video.
Meditation magic from USA. Through the participation of all our pyramid masters from USA and other countries. Our senior master, Divya, has been thinking out this great magic, meditation magic. Many issues have already been done, but now we are making it a YouTube-based magazine. So we are going to change the format of the magazine from a regular printed magazine form to video, YouTube mode magazine. So kindly enjoy this YouTube version of our meditation magic and contribute to it. Give your experiences widely. Everybody's meditation experience is very, very important. Meditation gives us wonderful experiences. And these are our life. So let's all welcome this new YouTube magazine, Meditation Magic. And congratulations to Dilip, who is organizing all these things. Thank you.
Alright, that was a beautiful video. Let's now move on to the most awaited part of the program today, a keynote speech by the wonderful author and coach Shannon Curtis. Shannon Curtis is a speaker, author, coach, and is founder of Angel Goddess Healing, a sanctuary dedicated to those who are looking for healing, transformation, and personal growth. As an institute coach, Shannon specializes in guiding individuals on the journey to overcome trauma, break free addictions, and deepen their spiritual connections with higher soul. She is also an author of No More Monsters Under the Bed, Shining Your Light on the Dark, a transformative tale to help heal the inner child within all of us. Let's welcome Shannon with a big round of warm welcome. Welcome, Shannon.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me? I'm not used to speaking with a microphone, so I like to use my hands a lot, so I'm going to try to do both. I just first want to start with everyone, if they want to just take a quick breath. I want to thank everyone for being here, because I know the rain and I know the weather was really hard to come out, and so I thank you and honor you for being here. And so today I wanted to talk about strength beyond limits. And I don't know how many of y'all in your life go see. I'm gonna get used to it. Can everyone hear now? Is that better? I wanted to talk today about strength beyond limits. And I first wanted to ask, how many of y'all have ever felt limited in your life? Whether it's the story that we were told, maybe it's a false narrative, how we grew up, what we were told to do, whether we were a boy or a girl, and how we're supposed to act and behave. And so there's things that always, another microphone. You're good now? So when we talk about strength beyond limits, we first have to look at our limits. What limits us in our life? What are the things that are the false stories that we don't tell ourselves? And so what I want to talk about is how my story, how I was able to move past my limits in my life. Okay, so I wanted to talk about my life and what I've been going through in my limits. So I went overcame sexual trauma. I've overcome abuse. I've overcome miscarriages. I've overcome grief. I've overcome divorce. And what I found through all of those things was they were not limiting me. They were just false beliefs. They were action that gave me the strength to keep moving on. And I found that all those things were not happening to me. They were happening for me. They were happening for me. And so you have to start looking at what are the things that you're limiting. Oh, it's okay. It's like I have to. Okay. Said I'm used to my little free mic, so I really apologize for that. But that's something too that we just have to look at of what are the things that we want to let go of. Are there any stories that you've been told in your life that maybe you have to act a certain way, that maybe you have to perform a certain way, maybe you have to get married, maybe you have to have children. And so there's so many times that we get told these things that we feel are limited, and they start to weigh us down, and then before you know it, you're living other people's lives, and these limited things that we think that we don't have the strength. And so the strength is within. That's where spirituality comes in. And I loved in the morning with the sound music, whoever was here to sound that, and if you could feel that, you could feel the strength and that music and the frequency, because it's all of y'all coming in here. It's all of your energy here that is coming as a collective to say that we want to move through this. And so I'm just really happy for all the children in here too. The children have been really, really fun to see because y'all are the future. These are the ones that I hope that they don't have those limits that we have placed on ourselves. And so I want to talk about the different kinds of limits that we have. And one of the biggest limits that I had in my life was fear. And how I look at fear is forgetting everything already remembered. And so when I have fear, I have to remember that who am I? Who am I past my limits? Because fear is something that's just there to block you. It's an illusion. And so when we look at that fear and we really face it, you know how you make fear disappear? You have to look at it. It's the opposite. We have been told what not to do. We have been told to not look at that. And in order to make the fear go away, you have to look at that. You have to be brave enough to do that and have the strength to know that's what's going to push you through. That's what's going to break you through that limits with that. And then we have our traumas. We have so many different traumas in our life that we don't talk about. We don't talk about what happens to us. We don't talk about the things. And so trauma is a thing that we get stored in our body. And that really, really limits us. That really limits how we're going to move through the world if we don't realize that we're even having these limitations in our life. And so I know for me, my trauma, I pressed it down. I was molested when I was very young. And I did not really talk about it or discover it in my 40s, so very recently. And looking back at my life, seeing all the things that I went through and all my miscarriages, my infertility, and I got to have my beautiful miracle baby. But those things were those traumas that I didn't talk about. And so I learned that the first thing I have to do is honor it. Honor what happened, talk about it, feel the anger. I think sometimes we get so stuck not wanting to feel anger. And anger is a good emotion. And so I really had to dive into the anger side of it, but then the forgiveness. The forgiveness, what do you do with that anger? And what it is you don't want to get stuck in the anger, you want to move through the anger. You want to move through it, and the only way to move through it is to let it out. And let everyone know who you are and how you can overcome that. And so I work with a lot of clients on the first identity is a safe space. Is a safe space to say your trauma, to say what's limiting, to say your beliefs that you no longer serve you. And so when you create that safe space, you open that channel. And it's those chakras. And I do a forgiveness method where we start with the root. And you start with everyone in here's the meditation, and the chakras line up. And that's where all our power sources are. That's where we store everything. So we have to start letting these limits out and seeing that they're not really limiting us. It's our minds that limits us. We have to move from our head to our heart. We have to be able to feel. That is what makes us the difference. That's what makes us human, is being able to feel. And unfortunately, sometimes in cultures, we're not allowed to feel truly how we are. And you think about a little kid that's running around and they scrape their knee. And they think it's the worst thing that ever happens to them. And then as a parent, they come in, pat them on the head, say it's okay. It's okay, stop crying. What does that tell that child? What I'm feeling, this fear, this awful thing that happened to me is not okay, and I'm not safe to cry. And so we do these little stories in our head, how we pass it on to our children, or it was passed on to us, but we don't even see and understand that we're telling them it's not okay to feel. It's not okay to cry. And so I had to learn in my life that was the first thing, that my emotions are actually the most powerful thing I have. To be able to feel and to walk through and know that I can feel the anger, I can feel the pain, I can feel the hurt, but I can also feel the sadness and the joy, every emotion. And so what happens is when you start feeling that, it starts coming out, and you start feeling, who are you? Who are you? Because that's the first thing I always ask my clients is, if you can imagine, I have a fairy wand, and I'm up here, and every wish you'll want, every wish that you want, I can grant right now. I can just look at you and say, okay, what do you want? Everything your most wildest dreams. Do you know what that is? Do you know what you want? Do you know who you want your higher self to be? And that's what happens is we are presented that and we don't know. And so we have to go back, and I do a lot of inner child work because I truly feel like that's where we need to heal, is go back to that little kid, that little girl that said maybe you couldn't be anything you wanted to be. You couldn't be that because you had to fit society. You have to fit in this limit. You have to fit in this box. But what if we told every kid, whatever you want, you can be. But you have to first ask, who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Do you want to be someone of power and wealth and big houses, or do you want to just live your life free? And so what happens is you really have to start looking at these limits of the mind and see they're actually our greatest strength. They teach us about ourselves. So I struggled with addiction for a long time. I had 5 miscarriages. I went through many infertility things. And I learned to numb the pain. I didn't want to feel the pain. It was too painful. So when I gave birth to my daughter, the first thing I got was pain medicine. So what do you think that did? It taught me to numb the pain. It taught me to take it away because I didn't want to feel it. I didn't think I was strong enough. I thought it was a limit. I thought I was my story. I was a victim of this. It happened to me. But now I know it happened for me because I am the most amazing mother now because of my pain. My 16-year-old daughter is a true miracle. She's a true miracle, and she is what taught me that. But I'm not my addiction. My addiction was a beautiful tool to keep me engaged in life, to not check out as best as I could. To the first 7 years of her life, I struggled with pain medicine. It was this dirty little secret. I went to the doctor. It was all, just by the doctor. But nobody stopped. The first time I had a miscarriage, nobody stopped and said, here's a card for a counselor or therapy. No, I got a prescription for pain medicine and for Valium and sleeping medicine. That was my prescription. Nobody stopped to tell me that this isn't going to limit you. This could be your strength. You just have to feel the pain. And so I started to process that and learn how to numb it. And then finally, I couldn't continue. I was living my life in a big secret, and a big dirty secret, but what it was is I didn't like myself. I didn't like who I was. And I started wanting someone to pay attention to me. Anybody pay attention to me. And my husband at the time wasn't necessarily paying attention to me. I just was waiting for someone to see me, to see my pain. See my pain, because when we act the worst, we need to be loved the most. That's what it is, because when we act the worst, there's a reason why we're acting bad. And so when you have children acting out, be curious. Why are they doing it? If they're withdrawing, if they're getting angry, if they're getting frustrated, there is a reason why they're doing it. You have to be curious to look past these things. And so when I started looking at that, I discovered I don't want to live this anymore. And my life kind of blew up in front of my eyes. And my mom called me and was like, can you just get help? I see you hurting. Before she even uttered the words, I said yes. I was just waiting for someone to tell me I was worthy enough, instead of me feeling worthy enough. I was sitting around waiting, just dying inside every day, waiting for someone to tell me I'm worthy enough. But now I know today I am worthy enough. I'm worthy enough of feeling pain. I'm worthy enough of healing. I'm worthy enough of standing in front of all you today to tell my story. These are my most vulnerable things I've been through. And sexual abuse. These are things that have made me the woman I am. I'm not a victim. I'm not. They are not my limits. They are actually what strengthened me. And so I got offered to go to this beautiful treatment center for 6 weeks. And it was the first time in my life I learned how to feel. Nobody taught me how to feel the correct way. And so one of the things that we did there, you don't do tissues. When someone's crying, you don't hand them a tissue. Because again, subconsciously, when you're crying and I hand you a tissue, it's because I'm saying this makes me uncomfortable and please stop crying. Right? And so those are those little things we don't even realize that it's making us uncomfortable to actually see somebody else feel. And that's the hardest thing we have to do sometimes, is hold space for other people. And that's what I've learned about being a mom. Is my job of being a mom is not to take her pain away. It's to teach her how to walk through her own pain, like I was taught. It's not to wipe her tears away. It's to say, let them out, because they will come out and they will stop. And I was thinking about the rain earlier, and the thunder, and how beautiful the rain is, because it's cleansing. It's cleansing. It's the tears that cleanse us. Because when we hold on there's no release. And it's like a cloud, and it just builds and builds and builds, and it gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And then before you know it, you can't take it. You can't take it, and it just comes down. And so I would just offer everyone one advice that I could is don't be afraid of those tears. Don't be afraid of that rain. Just like y'all showed up today, there was a lot in my life this week that could have limited me from getting here, and the weather was wonderful. I was like, oh boy, I drove 5 hours and an hour here in the rain, and I'm like, it's not going to stop me because it needs to come. But you know the sunshine's coming. The sunshine always comes. But are you learning to dance in the rain? Are you learning to appreciate that's what waters the grass? That's what we need. It's the cycle of life. So we need the anger, but we need the pain too. So that's how I learned to start feeling my pain and honoring it and seeing it. It's very sacred to be able to feel. That's the strength. That is the strength of being so vulnerable that you can share that, but know you're worthy of feeling that. And so as I learned that, it was my first time in my life that I was sober. That I was sober. Who was I when I was sober? Who was I when I didn't hide from alcohol, when I didn't hide from medicine? I didn't know, guys. It was scary. It was probably one of the scariest things. Like I said, when I say, I'll give you anything you want, what is it? And sometimes we don't know. And so that's where I started, was I started with, who do I want to be? Who is my most authentic self? And I found out it's a storyteller. I love transmuting my pain into purpose. I wrote my book from that, from healing my inner child. It's about taking my pain and turning it into purpose. So then that's where that passion is. That's where you get your strength saying, oh, I know why. I know why it happened to me. It happened for me, so now I can go help others. And so every time I work with a client that's gone through something like me, it makes my strength even stronger. My story is my strength. It's not my limit. And so many times we get stuck in our limits of our story. And it's not that. We're so much more. I truly believe the most authentic you can be is love. It's just love. That's what it all comes down to. I always say it's either fear or love. That's it. What are you going to choose? Those are the two basic emotions, and everything comes from that. But are you acting out of fear, or are you acting out of love? And the one thing that I was missing was the self-love. I don't know about you, a lot of mothers, but I could give the love away. I had no problem giving the love to my children, but I didn't have it for myself. I couldn't do that for myself. And so I took those 6 weeks and I gave that love. I learned how to reparent my inner child. I learned how to heal those wounds that maybe my parents didn't know. They did the best that they could. It's not blaming anyone. I don't blame my parents. They were beautiful. They raised 3 beautiful daughters. But they have their own trauma that they pass down. And that's what happens is when we don't heal our trauma, we pass it down to our children. You just do. Because they watch us. They're like little sponges. And I loved them up here dancing. Just being them and the bravery y'all had for being up here. It literally moved me to tears to see that. Because do we all remember being innocent and our imagination? And being like, we could be anything. We didn't have limits when we were kids. You know where our limits came in? When the world told us, nope, you can't do that. Nope, you're not fast enough. No, you're not smart enough. I didn't go to college. I went for a little bit, didn't do good. It was not my place. I'm back in school now. And I'm studying human consciousness. Thank you. And my fiance actually, it was just a couple months ago, when he said, why don't you go back to school? I can't do that. I'm not smart. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm like B's, C's, D's. There's no way. My brain doesn't think that way. I was a musician. I was an artist. I loved all that. And so I instantly had that limit in my mind saying, I'm not smart enough. I instantly went back to that little girl that couldn't pass a class and was not smart. And so I thought about it. And this is how spirit just works in my life. I woke up in the middle of the night and I started looking and I found a school. And it's in my it's Maharashi International University. It's online. But I get to get my degree in consciousness and human potential. I get to study all these topics that I want. I get to study about wisdom and meditation and how that changes your life and how it changes the consciousness of not only you, but the consciousness of the planet. And and how we're raising that. And all of y'all are here to meditate. It's for yourself, but it's also for this room. I could feel the energy. Y'all were so calming this morning, and it was beautiful to feel, because that's what we need. We need the calm, we need the strength, we need the love, but we need the quiet. We need the quiet. And in the morning when it was rumbling, can you find the calmness in that storm? Can you find that? Can you find that and be like, it's okay, it's rumbling to tell me something. And so all this stuff inside of me was saying, I'm not good enough. And I was like, you know what? I'm changing that. I am good enough. I am worthy enough for an education. But maybe that system was my limit. Maybe the system wasn't working for me. So let me find a system that I can excel in. And so I found this beautiful school, and I'm learning things that I never thought possible, and I'm getting A's. And it's just the most wonderful thing for my daughter to see. And so she's going to graduate in 2 years, and I'm going to graduate at the exact same time. And it's just that God moment. And knowing that, but what if I would have limited myself? What if he would have asked me that, and I just went with that belief and said, yep, I'm not smart enough. I would have missed out on some of the best opportunities of my life for speaking. I can't speak. I don't know what to say. I'm nervous. I can't do that. I have to take those limits and say the nervousness I was feeling earlier, it's excitement. It's excitement. It's energy. That's all it is energy. We get to decide what that energy is. So I can say this is nervousness because I'm scared, or I can say it's excitement because I know something good's going to happen. All I have to do is show up. All I had to do was show up this week. Every time this week something came up and I didn't know if I was going to get here, show up. That's all you have to do. That's all your job is, to be here and be your most authentic self. But you have to know who that is. And I didn't know who that was. And so I discovered that. And so when I got out of my addiction and I learned to be my most authentic self, I was like, oh, okay, this is scary. I don't think I'm in love anymore. I don't think this person is for me because I wasn't being authentic. And it wasn't his fault because he married the person I was. He married those limited beliefs. That girl that thought I was just supposed to be a housewife and stay home and have the most gorgeous home and just live life and sit by a pool. That wasn't me. There was this little voice inside saying, you're dying a little bit every day, but you don't honor your truth, but you don't honor who you are. So I wasn't that spiritual. I always had stuff and I liked it, but I was not being myself. I just stayed in a safe little box. And so as I started feeling this and honoring this, the next scary thing is, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to break this person's heart? And all I had to do was go within and know it's not about him. It's about me. It's my story, meaning I get to be authentic. Here I am. Do you like this person or not? And that's what happens is sometimes you grow apart because you're not being your most authentic self. And now, the person I am now is nothing like that person. So walking through divorce was very hard. And I remember telling my parents, and the first thing they said was the children, my daughter. Like, oh, we worried, you're going to do the worst thing. And I told my mom, what if this is the best thing that happens to my daughter? Because I cannot protect her from pain. I can't protect her from pain when she gets her heart broken. I can't protect her when she fails class or she doesn't get into college. I can't do that, but guess what I can do? I can teach her how to walk through something really hard and find the strength in it and see that it is for the better. But sometimes we don't get what we want. We don't get what we really, really think we want at the time. And so I looked at it as this beautiful opportunity for my child to see that, to see two parents that were able to separate, but she got to see her mom grow. And she lives with me, and I get her full time right now. And she's the most beautiful thing by seeing my strength. It's teaching her to walk through her limits. But again, go back to that woman that was scared to get divorced, because who am I? How am I going to make a living? I'm a housewife for 15 years with no education. What am I going to do? So what if I went in there and I went with those limits? What if I stopped and I was like, I can't do this because I'm limited. I don't have any computer, don't have any money. She would have missed out on the woman I'm becoming today if I would have let my limits of my mind, and again, this is limits of the mind, this is not limits of the heart. It's the limits of what we think we can do. So if you don't think you can do it, I guarantee you're probably not going to do it. We live in a yes universe. The universe gives you everything you want. You say yes. If you're like, I'm not worthy enough, that's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to get. But when you start opening that up, saying, I am worthy of love, I am worthy of finding a partner that gets me, that gets to be my most authentic self and feel safe. And so I walked through that divorce with kindness and grace. And the day that I filed, he came over and I invited him to sit by the pool and we watched the sunset. And I said, I would love for you to come watch the sunset and honor that 15 years of marriage. Because there's beauty in the sunset. There's beauty in an ending. You just have to find it. You just have to be brave enough to know what's on the other side of that. And know that that sun's going to rise the next day. Now, you don't get away from pain. That's the other thing. There's pain in it. There's pain in it. But there's beauty in the pain. There's beauty in the rain. Because when the sun comes and the rainbow, you have to have rain to have a rainbow. You just have to. So are you going to just wait for the rainbow, or are you going to wait and you're going to enjoy it and see that this rain is a gift of cleansing? So all those tears I cried has literally washed me away from who I was. And so I was set free, and I started this journey a couple of years ago. And again, who am I going to be? I'm going to be me. I'm going to use my story to help others. I've always wanted to help others. I've always had a passion. I've always felt like there's a reason a lot of things have happened to me. A lot of bad things have happened to me in my life that could have really set me back. And I didn't let it. And that's what I've learned in my life is the more that I go through these painful things, the stronger I am. The stronger. It's like working out. You don't get stronger by not going to work out at the gym and sweat and feel uncomfortable. Your muscles get stronger from the pain and the repetition. So I had to show up every day. I had to show up every day, and what I do every day is meditate. I meditate in the morning and at night, and I am so blessed that my fiance does too, together, in the morning and night. And it has changed our relationship. And all year it has changed it for the better, because every morning we set our intentions. Sometimes we do it by ourselves, because I need a little me time sometimes. He doesn't mind, but for me, I do a lot of writing, and that's when I feel closest with Source and God, and so I need those moments. But I have this partner now that wants to do these things with me. And if I would have stayed in that limited belief that I wasn't worthy, that partner would have not come up in my life. But I claimed it, and I said, I am worthy of having someone be right next to me and hold space for me when I'm crying tears and I'm going through the worst imaginable thing that you could go through. And he holds space, and I hold space for him. And it's the most beautiful thing, ending our day together, because you don't go to bed angry. You leave it in the meditation. We have a little room called our meditation room, the healing dojo, and we leave it in there. I go in there sometimes, I scream, I cry. I've been on the floor begging God to help me, but I didn't feel that I was hurt. But I was hurt, because the next day I got up, and the next day I got up, and then before you knew it, I'm a warrior, and I can go through anything, because those battles are what happened here. But meditation is so important to me, because it brought me back to Source. It brought me back to God and my understanding. It brought me back to that oneness. We get lost in this world. We get lost in our beliefs. We get lost in these systems that are not built for us. They're not built for us to rise. A lot of these systems, unfortunately, are built to keep us within these boxes. And I'm like, I'm not made for a box. I'm going to build a box. I'm going to build my own box, and I'm going to step on it, and I'm going to speak my story. And so when I meditate, I get to let all that go. I get to let it all go and feel peace. How many times y'all felt meditation at just peace? And maybe it's 1 second. That's what happens, or a lot of people are really afraid of meditation at first, because they think it's this instant thing. They think, oh, yep, okay, now I'm enlightened, and I'm up in Buddha, and I'm hanging out. That's not how it happens. You have to grit through those moments when you're having all these flooded thoughts. And how do you keep going back to center? How do you keep going back to self? It's the same thing in life. It's the same thing. Meditation is the same thing. If you take the time to center yourself, you'll be okay. I was saying I'm not selfish. I'm self-centered. I put myself in the center of my universe. Because when I do that, I'm a way better mom, and I'm a way better partner. And so meditation has been such a way for me to see all these limits, and they literally just melt out of my mind. And at the end of all those limits, I'm just left with me. I've heard a thing that they say, in 10 years, there's no guarantee who's going to be alive. You can look at the person left and right of you. There's no guarantee they're going to be in your life. But you will. You're still going to be there. That is the only guarantee. Even my daughter, my fiance, I don't know. So why don't I put my best foot forward for myself? Why don't I put it that I'm the one that is controlling this narrative? I get to decide what limits me. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes I am my own limit. I'm my worst enemy. I don't know about y'all, but a lot of times negative talk comes in. And negative talk is such a big one. And I used to do little sticky notes and affirmations. Affirmations are such an important thing because it rewires the brain. Just like meditation, it teaches you to find the peace in the chaos. Right? So in the beginning, this was a little hard for me with all the movement and noise because my little brain, and I'm used to the quietness. Right? Yeah. No, I gotta push through that. Can I find the calmness? Can I find the rhythm of my voice? And that's what meditation does. It teaches you to find that. And so it's really important for that. And so as I moved on in my life, I started working with a lot of clients. And I started really noticing the number one thing people have with limits was being able to feel. Was being able to feel the emotions. I can't be angry. You know, I have to be this perfect little girl, and I can't tell my husband I don't want this or I don't like this. And I started noticing, or man, I can't do this. I have to be masculine. I have to be strong. I can't cry. The most vulnerable thing, the most attractive thing my partner does is be vulnerable. And when I see him with my daughter, the way he opens up and has just embraced him as his own, and they cry tears together, that is beautiful to me. Because when you saw him, he's this big girl wearing the tattoos, and he doesn't look like that. But it's he doesn't let that limit him, because he's more than that. He's strength to find through the emotions that I can cry, and I give him that space to cry. And so I started working with a lot of people that have limited on feeling it. Where do you think those feelings go? When you don't cry and you don't scream, do you think they just magically disappear? No, they get stuck inside of us. They get stuck inside those power centers, and they get stuck and they start being these blocks. And they start getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and before you know it, you feel like you're surrounded by boulders and you're stuck in a hard place and you don't know what to do. And so the first thing I do is teach them how to feel, how to bring it back to themselves and trust. Trust that you are not your limits. Your feelings are not limiting you. They are actually your freedom. They're your freedom to the other side. And so I just encourage everyone to think about that. What's an emotion that maybe you don't feel comfortable feeling? What's a thing that you don't know that how to move through? I'm actually sorry about that. But how do you move through that? And so I wanted to talk a little bit about finding the strength in it, but what that looks like. What strength really looks like. And I feel like we're in a very interesting time right now in society and culture that we're starting to get the discernment of what we like and what we don't like. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now that can get really scary. And I feel like, again, we have two choices, fear or love. What would fear do? What would fear do if you're scared and you listen to everything going on? It is scary. But that's where I go back to go back to love. Bring it back to self. Bring it back to source. We can actually do this. People like you that come and meditate and are willing to give up a rainy Saturday to come here and this beautiful place and event, those are the people that are going to help us move on these limits that we have in our cultures and our societies. Because we're not that. We're not the stories that we were told. We're not supposed to hate each other. You look at little children, they don't know the difference. Again, bringing it back to the inner child, they don't know the difference. All they know is love until it's introduced to them. And so one of my things in my life is working with clients is starting to take that narrative and shifting that, helping them Who am I now when I'm not a mother? Who am I now when I'm not a father? I work with a lot of grief people. How they lost children. How am I when I don't have the things that used to limit me, that put me in that box? Am I able to move past those boxes? And so we really work with, again, going within, meditating, quieting, so you can hear. You can hear those thoughts directly from source, from God. It's meditation that has literally saved my life because it's taught me who I am. It's taught me to sit in my own thoughts. And the longer I sat in my own thoughts, they disappear. And I'm like, they're just thoughts. They're not reality. And that's what happens is we get a little lost and our thoughts become so much, they become our reality. Again, yes, universe. So if I keep saying every day, I'm not smart enough. Every day I wake up and look in the mirror, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough. What do you think that's going to do over time? It is literally going to create that pathway of that thought, and then it becomes my belief. And then that belief becomes my reality. So what if I wake up every day and I look in the mirror and I say, you're beautiful, you're perfectly made, you're allowed to make mistakes, you're a good person, you're a good mother, despite maybe what the universe is telling me. What do you think if I do that every time? And then that thought comes in maybe 10 minutes later. I'm not worthy. And I switch it. And I say, I am worthy. And you have that almost battle in the mind. I don't know if you felt that in meditation, but sometimes it can feel like that battle of the thoughts. And what happens is, you have to go with it, and you have to honor it. You're like, oh, you're just a thought. You're just a thought. I can change another thought. And so you start saying that. You start talking to yourself better. Self-negative talk is one of the worst things we can do. It's actually way worse than someone saying it to us. Because when someone says it to us, we kind of have the desire to, we can either believe it or not. But when we say it to ourselves, we're like, oh, if I'm saying it, it's real. And so you really have to work through getting through those limits, is understanding that your mind is the limit. It's the limit. It's what sets you free when you move to your heart. We are not our minds. Our mind is a beautiful thing. And I do a lot of ego work. That's where the mind lives. It's important to help us. We need that, but we also need the quietness. We also need the strength of knowing that. Sorry, it's so funny because I'm hearing these beautiful voices and my thoughts are drifting. My thoughts are drifting exactly like that. And so what it is bringing it back to that, of the clarity of the moment. And it's okay, they're just children having fun, but it's my distraction. And so I have learned and pushed through that, that I'm going to start opening up to those limits. And I can be quiet in the storm. I can find the calm in the chaos. I just have to think I can, I have to believe I can. And so you start working with those thoughts, and then they become your beliefs, and then they become your new storyline. And guess what happens? That old storyline goes away. Goes away. And before you know it, I truly believe when I work with my clients for healing, we don't go through every painful memory. I don't believe in that. I do not think healing should be suffering. And so a lot of people are afraid to go through their past because they're so afraid to feel those. But what if part of healing our past is just learning to love? Because every time I replace it with love, those things go away anyways. Because the more I replaced it and I started healing for myself, I'm like, oh, that person that hurt me when I was 4, that's his trauma. That's his pain that he was trying to put on me. And so I learned to forgive. And I can say today, I have forgiven my abuser wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. Because forgiveness was forgiving the shame back to him. And forgetting is forgetting your power back. And so when I had this moment of seeing that I had a very spiritual journey, and I had God next to me, the essence of God, and the energy of my perpetrator, and I looked at him, and I was like angry, and I saw his anger. And I was like, God, this is bad, this is anger, this is all that pain. And I gave it back, like it's his. And then I'm there, and I started seeing, he's of the same light as me. Ultimately, he is of the same light as me. That's it. And so I got it in that moment of the forgiveness is not about that person. It's not about that person. It was what I was holding on to. I was holding understood the power of it. I got my power back saying, you no longer have a place in my life. You're not going to be a limit of mine. You're not going to do that. And so now I walk through life and I can say, I've been through some of the hardest things and I have forgiven everyone. But that comes with boundaries. Boundaries are not forgiveness. Forgiveness is saying, you did this to me, I'm giving your pain away, I'm giving your shame back to you, but I'm getting my power back. And with that power becomes boundaries. And so I learned to have boundaries for the first time in my life. I didn't understand what boundaries were. I didn't know to say no to someone because I felt worthy enough to say no. I don't feel like going, I need this, I need that. I did not know how to state my own beliefs. And so I held on to that trauma for a long time because I didn't tell anybody. Just like my addiction. It was a dirty little secret. And I say dirty because that's how I felt. That's the shame I was carrying around. And shame is one of the hardest things we can do. Because when we feel shame, it's because we think we're the only ones. We think we're the only ones that have ever done something bad. And I'm here to tell you I've done plenty of that. I've done plenty. I had the addiction. I had an affair. I had so many things happen in my life that I could be ashamed of. But when I let that go, I know that's not me. That was me acting out in my pain. Because the healed version of me would never do those things. Ever. And so I look at that of how beautiful it is to see that once I let go of that shame, I just naturally became the person that wouldn't behave those patterns. But if I walked around carrying that, thinking I did this one thing, and now I'm not worthy for the rest of my life, I would be walking around with that limited belief, and I wouldn't be who I am today. And so I learned to give that away, and I learned forgiveness is the greatest gift we can give. Unfortunately, what I've also learned is we haven't been taught the right way. We have not been taught the right way to forgive. We have been taught to forgive because either the Bible tells you, your parents tell you, you just need to do it. We don't understand what forgiveness is. It's not about the other person. Unconditional love. I don't know about y'all, but how many people can say they've ever felt unconditional love from another human? Even yourself. So we start looking for unconditional love in others, and we're not even willing to stop and give that same love to ourselves. And so it starts with the unconditional love. Are you going to love yourself through all your traumas? Are you going to love yourself through all your mistakes? Are you going to still look in that mirror and get up the next day? Say, yep, I messed up yesterday, but I'm learning. Are you going to give yourself that grace? Because if you don't give yourself that grace, nobody else is. Nobody else is. Your partner's not going to save you. Nobody's going to save you until you're worthy enough to say, I'm saving myself. And so I've learned being a strong female and being in my divine feminine power. That's the best thing I can do for my partner and for my daughter. Because I truly think that we are all the divine feminine and masculine. But it needs to be balanced. And I was off balance. I didn't have that strength, that masculine, that thing that just told me I could. And I was always just like, I would see my partner just walk in the room in his strength, and I'm like, how do you do that? And I didn't have that. And so I learned how to dig in and find that strength, that grit, that power, but to do with the softness of being a mother and a woman, and how beautiful that is. And I find so much strength in being a woman, because I need the male balance, but I am powerful just on my own too. And so it's been a great thing for me and my daughter and my partner just walking through this journey of this spiritual path. And she gets to grow up knowing these things, just like the kids being here, they get to get exposed to this and how beautiful it is. And so it just warms my heart because I don't see that a lot. I don't see that in kids. And I think unfortunately right now is we're forgetting about the children. We're forgetting about the limits that we place on them. And my hope is as parents, we can start changing. We can start changing this new direction of the earth, but it's from the children. It's from saying, you're not your mistake. And when they act the worst, love them the most. Ask them, why are you upset? Don't just punish. Ask, be curious. I always say that little saying, curiosity killed the cat. Curiosity is what set her free. I am curious. Every time I misbehave or step out of line from a belief, I look at it. Where did it come from? Go deeper. Don't be afraid of getting off the surface of it, because all our actions come from something. And it could just be a thought. Oh, I did that, or I said something about someone else because I was feeling unworthy. And if you go, I was feeling unworthy because I didn't feel good enough for women or this or that. You have to be curious to go into it. And don't shame. I always tell people, don't shame the limits. Just be curious about it. And then once you're curious, you'll start understanding yourself a little bit more. Because that's the thing about me is I understand everything I do. And sometimes to a fault, meaning I can overanalyze, that's my brain. But I understand why I'm doing that. So when fear comes up, oh, it's because I'm forgetting who I am. That's what it is. So it's like, okay, Shannon, remember who you are. And then instantly I'm like, I got this. But if you don't stop and do that, and you just let the fear stand there, and when you're not going to understand it, and you're going to miss the opportunity of understanding. And I think that's the difference too. There's something about knowing and understanding are two different things in my mind. Knowing who I am and what I am doing, but understanding my path and my purpose. I know my path in my life. I know every day. And my path is I get to be the most authentic me, and I get to make a living now. A woman that was married 15 years did not have a credit card in her name. Did not know how I was going to find a house. And a year later, I own a house, I have a business in my name, and I wrote a book, and I get to speak in front of all of y'all. Because I was authentic. All I had to do was start with who I am and create my life around it. So many times we get these houses and this lifestyle, and we start to create everything around that. And before you know it, we're lost. And do I even like this? Do I even like living here? Do I like all these things that I have in my homes and the cars I drive? And so I really had to start looking at that. And it's like, no, all I want to be is just myself. And God will provide. You know, remember the Ecclesiastes verse? What's been provided? I have a home now. I have a car. I have land. I have this beautiful life that I created. But you wouldn't have known that if I let my limits limit me in that. And so I look back at the woman I became, and that scared woman that was too scared to say, I need help. I'm hurting. And I was too scared to say that. And so now my daughter gets to see a woman that cries, that laughs, that is angry, that is in love, that has trials in her relationship. She gets to see it all. She gets to witness that because I killed myself. And so instantly my daughter is already healing the trauma. And that's what happens when we start to take a look at who we are and how we become, where we are in our life, where we are. Are you happy with where you are today? Are you happy with what you're doing? And my hope and my wish is you are. Because it can all go away. None of this is real. None of it's real in the sense of like, this could all go away tomorrow. But the essence of who I am, that love I have in my heart, that unconditional love I have for myself, nobody can take that away. They can take my house, they can take my car, they can take everything else away. They cannot take the truth away. They cannot. And so it's that knowing that when you look at fear in the face, I just smile now and I say, you don't know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. And so there's days that I have to look fear in my face and it's not. But then I learn to smile through it. Literally smile through the pain. The pain is beautiful. There is beauty in the pain. You just have to be willing to feel it, because every time that I've been able to go through the pain, I come out stronger. I come out so much stronger because I can say, I've been my authentic self. I know who I am. I know who I need to believe is going to keep me down and keep growing. And so I just want to really encourage everybody. Tell me. Sorry. 15 minutes. Okay. Sorry, my phone's there, so I just wanted to make sure. And so I really wanted to see too, which we were going to do a little talking, but I really want to see what limits everybody. Is there anyone who feels limited right now in their life? Is there anybody? Everybody's good? Everybody's good? There's no limits? Oh wow, my job's done. All right, so if no one has any limits then I'll get back to how I go through mine. doing it, and then I go back later and look at it. Because I gotta get the ego out of the mind. You gotta get the ego out of the mind and go to your heart. And so what happens is I really start going after meditation. It opens up this channel. And I don't know how y'all feel after, but I'm very calm and relaxed. But I'm not in my head, I'm in my heart. And those are when I get the best thoughts. And then I wrote my book, and I write other books, and I work with clients, and I know spiritual mediums, so I have things that come through. What it is I have to be an open channel. And what I've learned in my life is I have to be okay with my stuff, with my trauma and my wounds. Because if I'm not going to be a good coach. I'm not going to be a good helper to somebody else if I haven't healed my stuff. And so that's something that's very, very important, is to continue. It's never ending. Everything I went through is like, okay, cool, now I got everything. No, my journey's just begun. My journey's just begun because now it ups the level. Now when you're aware, it's a little harder sometimes when you're aware, because you're aware of your behaviors. And then you get the choice to change it. But when you're not aware, it's kind of easy. It's like sleeping, you don't know. But when you start waking up and you start noticing these patterns, you start noticing these limits, then you're kind of stuck with the idea of what am I going to do about it? It won't go away. It won't go away. And so you have to just keep pushing through and finding that strength of what do I want to do. And so with the writing, that really helps clear that and bring it back to clarity. Because sometimes it can get a little bit lost in the confusion of it. And so we have clarity with that. And then the other thing is honestly like music. I don't know for y'all, but music moves my soul. And when she was doing the sound baths this morning, I could truly feel the frequencies. I could feel the vibration of this room and the love and heart opening up in the room. And so that's what I want to offer y'all, is open your heart. Are you willing to walk out of here today and feel a little lighter? Are you willing to let go of some pain in your life? Is there anyone you need to forgive? Do you need to forgive yourself? Is there something that's holding on, that's limiting you from believing you can live your most authentic self? And if it is, you can let it go. It's just a choice. It's not that hard, but it's hard work. You just have to make the choice. I'm not going to choose that anymore. And then when the pain comes up, you honor the pain. And it gets easier and easier and easier. Just like meditation. In the beginning, it was a struggle to sit with my thoughts. It was a struggle to sit with my mind. It was a struggle at times to look in the mirror and say, I'm a good mom. I couldn't do that. A long time ago, I'd have to turn the mirror away and I couldn't look at myself and say it. And every day I got closer and closer to one day I looked in the mirror and I looked in my eyes and I said, I'm a good mother, and I believed it. I believed it. And so there's all these little tools that you have to do in the affirmations. Keep saying it. Don't give up. Don't give up. They always say, don't jump off the wave before the miracle happens. Learn to ride that wave. And emotions come, and they go. And that's some of the scary stuff about emotions. You don't know if you're going to, if I open that floodgate, and I turn it off. If I open those tears, what's going to happen? And so what happens for me, as soon as I turn them on, and what's released, we stop. And I feel better. I'm like, wow, that was kind of easy. Or if I'm angry, and then I go actually yell, do something right, and I'm doing it in the safety of my own home, not hurting anybody, before you know it, I'm back to love. But if I try to stuff it down and say, oh, I'm just love and light, I can't be angry, I can't be this, I have to be this spiritual person all the time, that didn't serve me, because I tried it for a while. I tried just being the love and light and with no boundaries, no anger, nothing. That was good for a little bit. So some things didn't feel right. I'm like, I don't know about this anger. I don't know. And I had to really sit with anger in this last year of how it serves a purpose. Because anger was actually limiting me. The anger in my heart is limiting me because I wasn't letting it speak. I was thinking that I just had to be in love. But anger is a very powerful purpose too. And so I learned to deal with that. And how I learned was my voice, my truth, my story. I get to say my story. I get to talk. I get to do what I want to do, what feels right for me. And so when I honored that anger, I naturally brought it back to love. I naturally brought it back to the place of we're more than feelings. They're just feelings, guys. They're just feelings. That's it. That's all they are. They're not who we are. But they really are who we are. They would stay with us all the time. And about 5 minutes later, you're going to feel different. Maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And so it's that thing of that hope. Don't lose joy, the unknown, the nervousness. It's not anxiety. You get to make it the choice of it. You get to give your life a meaning. You get to decide what's meaningful to you. And sometimes it can be peace. And sometimes it's not that for others. But for me, that is something I get to claim my life and I get to create my universe. And I truly feel like the universe is all within inside of us. Because we get to give a meaning to it. And so I don't always meditate the same way. There's a lot of different techniques I do, and I welcome it all. Because meditation to me is quieting the mind to hear God. When I pray, that's when I'm talking. And I actually don't pray that much. I don't pray that much because it's talking, it's asking, right? I don't need that. God knows. I need to hear the wisdom. I need to hear the inner calling. So I have to quiet that. I have to go within. And so many times we go without. We really look outside of ourselves for answers. I don't ask anybody but myself. First. Now, obviously I take advice, but it starts with me. And if I'm not able to be comfortable enough to sit with my own thoughts and be safe with my own choices, that's a hard one. And so it's a beautiful thing to wake up every day and I get to set my intentions. Who do I want to be today? Who do I choose to be? Every day is different. I get to choose every day, every moment, every second, every opportunity. Someone cuts me off on the way here. Y'all know Texas driving. It was kind of a crazy, 5-hour drive, and I thought about it. Maybe they were just in a hurry. Don't take it personal. Maybe they're on their way to the hospital because someone's dying in their life. We automatically go to making it about us. They hurt me. They did this to me. Nobody did it. They made it about themselves. I don't know what's going on with them. And so that's another thing, that bringing it back to yourself, but don't worry about the other people. Don't worry about what happens when you speak your truth. And if it doesn't land, it's okay. There's things I said today that you resonate with, take them home with you, take them in your heart. If they don't, that's okay too. So I tell my clients, I will give you all of what I have, but if it doesn't work, I'm going back home and my life's pretty damn good. And it's okay. You can stay in your pain. It's not going to change me. I give you the opportunity to face your own pain. Because I face my pain. And I tell them, I don't ask you to do anything I haven't done. And I can say I have faced every fear in my life. And there's more to come. But when I don't act out of fear and I remember who I am, it's easy. But it's just a choice. It's a choice of what you want to do. And so all my offering to you, when y'all leave this room today and you go home and you're sitting in your quiet thoughts tonight, take those few minutes. Do you like who you are? Do you like who you chose to be? Do you like the partner you are? Do you like the parent you are? And if you don't, that's okay. Don't shame it. Be curious why. Have you got upset at your partner? Are you acting out with your children out of anger? Be curious. Maybe you were frustrated. Maybe you're not taking enough time to center yourself. Maybe you need to be a little self-centered and put yourself first and see how that works. And so just be curious. Know that life is happening for us. Everything that happens in our life is the greatest opportunity to move past those limits and see the strength is on the other side. You just have to be brave enough to go to the door. You have to be brave enough to get on the stage. You have to be brave enough to speak your truth. And it's the strength within that I find every day, that I like who I am. I like my story. I don't have shame in my story. I've been the bad and the good. I felt every emotion there is. I'm not afraid of emotions. I welcome them because that is the beautiful human experience. That is why we're here, people. That is why we're here, is to feel. That is the only difference between us and the animals. We have the ability to feel so many different emotions. And so when I get lost in the world today and everything going on, it's just a discernment. It's just a choice of what I want to feel, what I want to choose. Do I want to choose fear, or do I want to choose love? And today I choose love. I choose being here with you beautiful people that opened your hearts to me and my story and let me hold space for you too, to honor what y'all are doing here. It's very beautiful, and I commend you and your children. I honor your children. They have a very special place in my heart for children because I know they're our future. And seeing beautiful girls and their smiles up there dancing warm my heart. So y'all are doing something about magic. Y'all are doing something very magical in this room and in this event. And so I encourage y'all to keep on doing it because it has just been a blessing in my life and I'm so grateful for being here and sharing my experience. But thank you for welcoming me into your home. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. That was a wonderful session. I would like to open a Q&A session. But audience here. Yeah. So this session is anybody can ask any questions to her. So we have half an hour Q&A session with her. So I want to go first. So I'm talking about the teenage phase where mothers are in now, which we were talking. So is there any tip that mom or family and kids needs to do to get off those anxiety times with the teens? To get out of those anxiety times
for children having anxiety, teenagers? I think there's a lot of stuff with that because, again, starting with why are they anxious? Why are they anxious? Is it just extra energy? School system, are they sitting at a desk 8 hours a day and do they have anxiousness? Or are they anxious what their friends think? Social media really perpetuates anxiety. It really does because then you get to know it's instant. What am I feeling today based off of who liked my pictures I posted last night? And oh my gosh, I posted this really vulnerable picture and nobody liked it. So I don't know what it would be. I would be curious of what it is. Are they not happy? Is there something but having that dialogue? Because I truly feel anxiousness is just energy that is easy to escape. That's all it is. So find a positive outlet. Find the quiet, find the meditation, find the journaling, or something to just channel that energy and know that that anxiety is there trying to tell you something. It's trying to say, oh, I'm right here. So be curious enough to ask. And that will hopefully at least start the dialogue to teach them how to identify that anxiety as not being bad, but being curious is trying to get their attention.
Thank you. That was awesome. The floor is open and anybody, can we have everybody seated please? Can we maintain some silence? Can we have the decorum? Can we maintain some silence? If kids are not able to sit, can we take them? Yeah. People are free to ask some questions.
Shannon, this is Pratyusha from Meditation Magic. So thank you for coming here and sharing your very inspiring story actually. A lot of great things for me to take away. One question I do have is, many of them are very new to meditation, right? Beginners of meditation. So I'd like to hear from you on the tips and tricks for them to stay committed and how they can start their practice.
Yeah, she was asking about how meditation is, and a lot of clients that I work with, they don't understand it either. The school I go to, they practice transcendental meditation. And what I do is I make my own. Sometimes I start with just quiet, but I use music a lot. And I help with music with clients that have a really hard time quieting their minds. I start with music, and sometimes I'll do worship music, because then it kind of gets them out of their mind and something to focus on. So again, it's that limit belief of meditation is sitting quiet, you can't do, you have to be uncomfortable and suffer. That's not what it is, at least in my opinion. That's not what I found. It's in the sense of where I feel safe, and I think it's very important first for someone to feel safe. And a lot of victims I work with trauma, sometimes meditation is hard because it's quieting and you can't see and you don't know, you have to feel people. And again, it's that kind of uncomfortableness. And so what I found the best way to start with meditation is a very comfortable space. You have to be very comfortable where you're going to go, because if you're not sitting in a chair and comfortable, and then you say sit there for 30 minutes, that sounds like suffering to me. And so, so find the music, find the lighting you like. I do incense. I have a quiet little, turn our garage into this healing dojo, and it's beautiful. All my crystals, everything that means to me, it's in my sacred space. So you don't necessarily need it, but I would definitely say limitations on it. Because there shouldn't be. Meditation is, again, listening to Source, listening to God of your understanding. However you get to that, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to affect my life. So there's a lot of different ways to do meditation, and I would just encourage people to find what path works for you. Find where you feel the most still and the quiet, and when you connect the most to Source, that's your place. And then I think it just expands bigger and bigger, and now I can go longer an hour, quiet, and do all that. But in the beginning, I had just started with music. I had just started with some things, almost like little cheat codes, and then it got easier. All right, anybody? Any questions?
Hello, Shannon. My name is Raj Pindya. I recently became part of this meditation, attending some of the classes. And I'm feeling very good after attending. My question is, you have a beautiful story. I really like the story you have about this strength and limits and all this stuff. I want to know, through the meditation, how can you really come up with, how can you find out what are your limits? And sometimes it's not difficult, it's not easy to understand these are your limits. And without knowing, you are limited in that before itself. But to see that strength beyond those limits, how you are able to do that, then this meditation really helps to see your limits and what else after those limits. If you cross and pass those limits, what sort of strengths that you can bring to the table? So if you can tell us something about it.
Yeah, that's a great question on how do you even find your limits, what's limiting you. Really, it starts with helping find someone who looks at your blind spots. That's what I say, like my partner and I, we are blind spots for each other. And so he helps me by seeing things that, like my daughter, she's my blind spot, meaning I'm too close to her to maybe see some things that I need to change my limits in my parenting. Oh, maybe she needs more chores. So when he moved in with us, I saw that. And so for me, it starts with that. But if you're asking on meditation-wise, I don't go to meditation to really acknowledge my limits. As far I go there, they kind of get dissolved, if that makes sense. But for me, how I do my limits is being aware of my actions in my everyday life. And so it starts with that. As soon as you don't even know what your limits are, but you have to be aware. First, where are some stagnant in your life? Where are some things that you're wanting to change? And a lot of times, it transfers into meditation. So maybe someone's having a hard time that can't meditate because maybe they don't sit still all day. Maybe they're go, and drinking 10 cups of coffee, watching TV, texting, doing that. So they're probably going to have a hard time saying, leave all of that and go sit and meditate. And so it really just starts with that of seeing what are the limits if you're not able to do meditation. That's some of the biggest stuff, is learning how to sit still. We just don't know how as society to sit still. And so that's the first thing. But as far as my behaviors in my life, I start with someone I trust. And that's why I love working with my clients, is I'm not here to fix you, I'm just here to mirror the things that maybe limit you, and you get to decide what limits you. I might offer something, but if you're like, that doesn't resonate, that's okay. I have a lot of stuff that comes up spiritually. I do spiritual mediumship, like coaching, and it doesn't resonate with them. It's okay, maybe they're not ready to look at that. And so it's just your limits will come up when they're supposed to come up. But the biggest thing is meditation for me isn't really bringing those up. For me, meditation is all about bringing it back to love and God and Source and unity and oneness. That's my intentions every day is I ask God when I meditate, please help me remember who I am. That's all. And if I do that, I don't have any limits. See how that takes care of it? You do that one thing and you truly believe that, you're not going to have it. And that makes sense. Hope that helps.
One last question. One small announcement. Can we move the carts? Sorry about that. Can we move the carts which is blocking the gates here? We have a food truck that needs to be parked and that needs to serve us food. Please
see, those are your cars. Please make sure that place is clean and park them in the designated parking spots. Thank you. The last question.
Hi Shannon, I'm Sujana from Meditation Magic. Thank you for sharing your beautiful personal story and for reminding us that vulnerability is strength and authenticity and self-love and the importance of feeling emotions. And you mentioned that when you began your journey into healing and meditation, you did not know how to feel. So as parents, how do you make sure that we teach our children to feel and not suppress
It's
emotions?
a great question, and that's one of the reasons why I wrote my book. Is it's an inner child book. It's a children's book, and it's all about walking through trauma and a little girl who's scared of the dark, scared of the monster. And that really is what came to me: was how do I simplify it? So I love writing children's books. How do I simplify it to where a child understands? Because the child understands, and adults usually do. But it's about seeing that the emotions are strength, but creating a space that feels safe. And not punishing when they act bad, not shaming the answer. I think as our society, we shame a lot of the answers, just like with addiction. I didn't say I had a problem because I felt shamed. And so as children, I think the best thing that we can do is teach them that there's no shame in feeling. And if they don't want to go to someone's house, or they don't want to go to school, or start being curious why. There could be a feeling, there could be that. And so I think that's the best gift you can give. Is the one thing I learned with my daughter. I cannot rescue her emotions. That is not my job as her mother to take her fear, her troubles away. It is my job to walk her through how for her to take her feelings away, her emotions away. And so you can start with the child too, of giving them the tools to learn their soothing techniques, and then before they know it, they're confident that they can go within, and they can start figuring out that I think that's the best thing you can do for children, just have the dialogue, and then create the safe space that they feel safe enough to say those things, and just keep doing that. And really what you put in their life, and I truly believe that children are sponges. And so whatever you do, they'll eventually get it. They will.
Thank you, Shannon. That was a wonderful, really meant a lot for us here. So I think many of them were really involved and you all also felt your emotions here. So thank you very much, and I call upon the felicitation team, Alina and Anil to felicitate Shannon here. All right, the winner is Sumalata. I think it's Sumalata.
Congrats.
Sumalata.
Really not in India. Good job.
Congratulations, Sumalata.
we have one more winner here, Ajay G. Ajay. We have one more winner, Shannon. Ajay. I thought you would run here for the gift. Thank you, Shannon. The housekeeping announcement, we have restrooms outside the venue behind us. We have water spread all over in the hall. Please feel free to fill them up. And we have food truck and we have the vendor booth there. So over to the promotional slides. Again, we're going to come up with the dance for these little kiddos. There were a couple of kids who missed this performance, so we don't want to make them feel bad. So one more time, with a lot of energy, nothing missing. So they're ready to rock the floor. All right, everybody in position. Let's go.
I think more than the kids, ladies were excited, I think. I think the wonderful ladies next to Chidi and Anaya one step.
Yes,
here.
close.
Ladies,
Close.
considering you take the hook line, ladies will get on a stage.
Choreographer.
Ladies, just the hook line who will be here. Just the hook line who already here with a great opportunity. People who don't want to dance here also can dance from there. There is no limitation.
Come on, dance. Dance. Thank you. That was beautiful. All right. Quick announcement. Please remove the cars which is blocking us in front of the venue here. Please, we want the place to be clear. Can you please check the cars, whoever it belongs to, and please park them in designated parking, please. So don't lose the momentum for the day. There are many more fun activities planned. So the second half would be the fun-filled afternoon. Please do not go away. The second half is the best thing happening in this day. Thank you, Raju Sapana, for taking over the first segment. Hello, everyone. Say hi. Is your friend? Hello. So after this walking performance, I think the energies are up. And I know you are all hungry as well. But before we break for the lunch, so we just want to present to you who we are. Who are we? What is our organization? Meditation Magic, excellent. If you got that part right, okay? So now, we want to present to you a short segment where we just show up our faces. I know everybody has seen us behind the Zoom, all the unorganized part of it, unprofessional part of it, and professional part of it, with a true intention. So I just want to take this honor to introduce our meditation magic team. Obviously, many of you guys know us, but for those who doesn't know meditation magic team, it's my honor now to invite the board of directors onto the stage one by one while I call their names. And by the way, I am Chandrika Yavidala, part of meditation magic. So first, I would like to call upon our founder, president, Ms. Divya Nayapalli. Give it up for her as she runs soul and whole sometimes. Then when we all pull our hands back, she is the one who is leading us. So the next one is our secretary, Sushma Ketreddy. Just want to let you know that she is on a greater journey. She is on this Maunam, like Patri sir did for 2 years. Our Sushma Ketreddy is trying her best to keep it up the Maunam for 3 months straight. So big round of applause for her, and for her, better hand, obviously, right? The urge to do, this evening, come on, one fight, she has to calm down, alright? So, okay. So next, I would call upon our treasurer, Pratyusha Gandra. She is the member lady here. And outreach coordinator is Ms. Vaishali Shah. She is not able to make it today, but just big round of applause for her chief. And none other than Chandrika Yavidala, cultural coordinator. How did my first show go this morning? How did it go? International evening. I'm letting everybody dance. Don't go anywhere after the lunch. Go around dancing with me in the afternoon session, okay? So our executive board members who are actually part of this entire organization to move, they all are limbs. First, I would like to call upon Kalpana, Ms. Kalpana Vela. Yeah, I don't think she can move from there. I like my mic. So, be there, my mic has to work. Okay. So next is Mrinalini, or the sweet voice you hear behind all the audios is our Mrinalini ma'am, going behind the mic, right? So now, Ms. Jansi Rani. She is going to go solo performance with me. So next, Mr. Kiran Manukuru, I think he is in a personal session. So he is also my spiritual guest right now. Next, I would call upon Swarupa Arananda, our silent and a wonderful partner to work with. Glad that you are here with us, Swarupa. So next, a beautiful Satya Mudumbai. Did I pronounce your last name right or did I screw it up? Big time. What's your last name? So now, a beautiful Miss Devi Sharma. She is her handbag, course or like course, is walking up on the stage. Diva is walking up on the stage. Welcome, ma'am. So our green queen, Dikshita Tien. Dikshita, where are you? Maybe she's making a read or okay, we have to now. So come on over. And Srujana K. Beautiful Srujana is here. And one and only, I think the Krishna in the field. Right now, there is a very big hand. So it is you, with all the ladies here on the stage, alright? So we want to congratulate Arvind on his second baby. So he is a second father. And Kalyani, please Kalyani onto the stage. Everybody has a personality, right? And Sai Vinila. Sai Vinila is the one who is taking care of the kids all through their costume, their training and all that stuff. Thank you, Sai, for that. Okay, so now, I know I told you it's a short segment, right? So, but I just want to ask you one or two people, few important things of why we are here, why we are obsessed to teach meditation, right? So we know obviously you can see, unpressed coat, no polished shoes, and lipstick on, I'm here, okay? Because I want you here, right? So, Divya, tell me in your own words, like, what makes you do this, what you are doing? Since the inception of Meditation Magic, this is the third year of Breath Away we are doing. Congrats to us, we are doing it our first year of Breath Away successfully. Divya, you can go.
Thank you, Chandrika. So what makes me do this is the motto of Patriji, take his vision forward of spreading the awareness about meditation. Personally, I felt the joy. It brought me up from the very low moment into my life. So I want to all of our participants to experience the joy that I experienced with meditation. That's why we do what we're doing.
So can you tell about the future events, like what we have planned up for the year?
We have so many future events planned. We have a few more team members will be talking more about it. So Virani will be talking more about upcoming events.
So we have a lot of online sections going on, and I invite you all to join us. So we have a lot of online sections going on, and I invite each one of you to join. Is this good? So I'd love to invite each one of you to our online sessions. We have 5 AM sessions and sessions in the night at 9 PM. So 5 AM sessions are meditations every day in the morning. Please do join us. Start your day beautifully with us. And we have a 40-day challenge coming up. That would be a great way for you to get this. Become consistent about it. So please do join us. And we also have 9 PM sessions, Monday to Thursday, 9 PM to 10 PM sessions. We have wisdom sharing, experience sharing, and absolutely beautiful wisdom meditations as well in each one of these sessions. So please do join us, start your day right, and end your day right. Thank you. Hello. Hello everyone, my name is Kalyani, and myself and Katusha are running its meditation sessions on every Sunday. We are certified meditation teachers as well. So I have seen like kids, these sessions we are running this since March, and we have seen that there is kids learning slowly how to sit quietly, how to focus on your breath and feeling calm. So we teach like they do meditation, they do wisdom sessions, and there will be stories and fun activities as well. These are all going to be included in the sessions. And so we are excited to continue this journey. Next session will be starting on April 26th. So we kindly invite you all to enroll this program and be a part of this journey. Thank you. And we have testimonials on the website. You can just go log in and go to your site and check it. And also we have flyers for kids, scan and enroll on the profile. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Sally Nina. Today we all gathered together in person. See how many energies we have. Similarly, we are planning some in-person sessions at El Dorado Pathway. We have our own in-person center where we meet from 3 to 5 every Sunday and share energies with wisdom, okay?
Thank you, Chandrika. So I'm so honored and humbled to be here with you all on this special day, Breath Away, our 5th anniversary program. So I want to briefly share why I do this work. Many people ask me what's the motive behind it. So my journey to spirituality came in 2002 by my mother, Padma. I was in a deep depression at that time. She was introduced to meditation, and slowly after that I met Patriji, and he had a great impact in my life. I was so inspired about his vision
of spreading the word of meditation throughout the world. So, and slowly I got involved with spiritual wisdom and meditation really brought me out of depression, and my whole life became very clear, and I really met my life with purpose now. So with Meditation Magic, we are non-spiritual, non-profit, spiritual scientific organization. The main mission is to bring awareness about meditation, plant-based living, and spirit energy. With Pattiji's guidance, we began in 2016 as a humble newsletter, born from Pattiji's grand vision of spiritual world. Slowly, we transformed into YouTube channel in 2018 and registered as a non-profit organization in 2021. Today is the 5th anniversary of Meditation Magic. To give it, thank you, Sita, and to give a glance of the impact we have made, we empowered more than 5,000 spiritual seekers, hosted 1,000 virtual meditation sessions, organized 100 plus in-person events. We also have a specialized Toastmasters Club called Mindful Masters Toastmasters Club. This club is very unique and we do mindfulness practice throughout the meetings. We also have 24-hour meditation programs called Meditation Musings, and we initiated a program called Manifest Omega, 108 days of meditation journey with empowered energy. We also host youth programs and field meditation programs, and I've been got so many opportunities from corporate sectors to train their leaders. We have been to American Airlines, Microsoft, and General Motors. In partnership with PSM Global, we hosted Dallas' largest meditation summit in 2023. We brought in together about 1,000 spiritual seekers. Along with this, last year has been a great blessing for the entire Meditation Magic team. We instilled Yoga Sangam Tatra in 2025, our location of International Yoga Day by Ministry of Ayush, India, in the presidency of Narendra Modi ji. And in August last year, we received proclamation about Pattiji's work. August 15th is declared as Brahma Shri Siddhanta Pattiji Day, also declared as Meditation Awareness Day in the city of Cusco and state of Texas. It's a great achievement for the entire nation we accomplished that last year. And also, I have been personally recognized as a Mentor of the Year award by Govi, Women of Visionary Influence, and also received award at the Life Award for workplace, introducing mindfulness to the healthcare. So all these became possible with amazing work of Meditation Magic. So I'm so honored and blessed to have an amazing team to support the vision of Pattiji. So all the great work to our team and our masters. And back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. I know you all have noticed, and a lot of people know that we really missed one important jewel of our team, Shanti. You might have seen her last year, but she's gone now. But she's very happy. I know that, and she sent Vasu Garu as a strong support to all of us. Just a moment of applause with all the love that she shared with the Meditation Magic team. And if you can, just raise up your feet, please. A standing ovation to our dear friend, Shanti. We miss you really, and we miss you, but I definitely, we all know that you are happy with us, and you are smiling up from there. Thank you, Shanti, for everything you are doing. So now, thank you for coming. You deserve the best. So now, we just have like few more things that we would like to take a great honor in felicitating the like-minded organizations that share a lot of values with Meditation Magic. So I kindly request Omega Team representative, OB representative, and Toastmaster to please walk up to the stage and just let us share a thank you, gratitude to you in like a quick 2 minutes. And then we'll have a group picture together. So representatives from Omega Team, if you are listening to me, Srihari Sharma Garu, Arun Garu, may I request you onto the stage, Koti Garu. So, and OV representative, Ms. Misty, I request you to please be onto the dais as a token of gratitude. you. Please, please, I request, she is coming. She heard me. And members of Toastmasters, if you are here, I request you to please come onto the stage. Give us an opportunity to felicitate you and say thank you for what you have done through this 2025-2026 journey. Thank you. I think Toastmasters, they are not here. I think round of applause for Team Rory. Thank you for sharing our values and being a strong support for us. Thank you. Your presence really means a lot. And from Toastmasters, I request Ms. Shilpa to be on the stage, please. And now the time is for our core Omega team to be come to the center and let's take a small moment from us. It's all bye-bye. Of course I'm Omega team. I don't disagree. Everybody's Omega team, yes. So that's why, that's a Toastmasters there. Thank you, Shilpa, for being here. Your presence means a lot to us. Thank you. And Omega team. Come on, they are here. We just have to celebrate them. Bhavani Garu? No, we should not be shy. We are doing so good. So this is our moment to cheer. Come on. Thank you. I think of everyone. Okay. Thank you for the class. Thank you so much. Yeah, Sureka, yes. Sir, I called your name, sir. I remember your name.
Renu, one step forward. One step forward. Sharma, yaar, mere kuch bata. Yeah.
So cheer with me. We are all one. We are all one. We are all one.
Stay, please. Thank you.
So we'll take our next meditation magic. Thank you, Omega team. Thank you for your support. So executive team and board members will take a picture and then I invite you all to take a group picture before us, okay?
Vivek. Ready, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. One second. Do some different pose. Bale. You try cheyandi. Yeah, that's good. Yo. One more. Stay, please. One more. Okay, cheer up. Thank you.
Okay, now it's all your time to please come over and take a picture. Everybody, it's going to be a great memory for us. You have attended our event and then you took something pretty important. Everybody, please come onto the stage, please.
Serious guest. One You can settle down here. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, everybody? From everybody? Yeah.
Are we covering here?
So what do you want to say together? Meditate together, right? So what else? I mean, you have to be a.
You say magic is, we all say meditation. And then you say meditation is, we all say magic.
I pretty already. Okay. So let's go. 1, 2, 3. Meditation is magic. is?
Take a video, please. Okay, one more time. Please join. It's a new one. Raja.
Okay, there are a few more people coming. Let us come. That's okay? Alright, okay. So now once more. Meditation is? Magic is? Magic is in? Drama.
One more time. Meditation is. Magic
Please join us. Video రాలేదు అసలు. Video రాలేదు అసలు.
ఈ సైడ్ చూడండి రాలేదు. Everyone please settle down. What time is?
Divya, let the professional who is done.
Miral.
Okay. So we will quickly come back at 2 o'clock, okay? So the food trucks are outside, shopping is on the left. Please come back sharp at 2 o'clock. We are going to start medical panel and then Bhaman dance, okay? We all have to dance together and then the drum circle. So don't miss out. See you all in the afternoon.
I'm like breaking it into like little
అమ్మా బాగున్నావా కాలేదు మరి
నీరు రాలేదు నీరు రాలేదు
చిన్నపిల్లలు కట్టాలి మేము రావాలి ఇంకోటి అంటే చెప్పు నిజం చెప్పు
మర్యాద రెండు వైపులు ఉంటుంది
అలా కాదు కదా అమ్మ మీద ఆశలు చూడాలని రావాలి అవునా కాదా అవునా కాదా నేను కలిపే కదా పెద్దవాళ్ళు అయిపోయారు మనం వెళ్ళి చూసి రావాలని ఉంటుందా లేదా
అయినా మీరు పెద్ద అయినా ఇంకా చిన్న పిల్లలు
నేనా
నాకన్నా చిన్న
చిన్న వారి కాదమ్మా మా కాళ్ళు వాసి జట్లా
లాంటి ఫుల్ హీరోయిన్ లాంటి షూస్ వేసుకున్నారు మీరు
నా చెప్పులు పోతే వేరే వాళ్ళు వేసుకొచ్చుకున్నా నా తలకాయ నేను కొనుక్కొచ్చుకోవాలా ఏమంటుంది చూడు ఏంటంటే హీరోయిన్ చెప్పులు వేసుకొచ్చారంటే
గుంటూరు షాపింగ్
లేదు ఇక్కడ మన వినాయక చవితి చంద్రబాబు పోతే నా చెప్పులు వేరే వాళ్ళు తీసుకున్నారు అక్కడ ఏ ఒకటో తగ్గించుకొని వచ్చా
చూసారా అట్లా వస్తాయి అనమాట మోహిత్ వెళ్ళారు
బాబు అక్కడెక్కడ తిరుగుతున్నాడు
శ్రీని గారు వచ్చారా
రాలేదండి ఆయన సియాటిల్ లో ఉన్నారు
ఓ అవునా
వర్క్ కదా
అప్పటికి మళ్ళీ మూవ్ అయ్యారు
అయిపోయారు వస్తున్నారు మేబీ మీ ఫ్యామిలీ రాలేదా
అను వర్క్ వెళ్ళింది ఇంకా పిల్లలకి ఇంట్లో వాళ్ళకి మార్నింగ్ కొంచెం లేట్గా ఇచ్చారు
It was good competition.